Election and Boundaries Commission were on Monday, August 8, destroyed while being ferried to the Tharaka-Nithi Tallying Center. The materials were intercepted by residents who protested and raised an alarm after realizing some of the materials were marked as belonging to Fafi constituency in Garissa County. Tharaka-Nithi Regional IEBC officers stated that the election materials in question were intercepted on their way to the Tallying Center in Igamba Ngombe, from where they will be distributed to the polling stations. In Kisii County, a damage to a pallet containing gubernatorial ballot papers on transit to South Mugirango constituency from the electoral body's Kisii town stores raised eyebrows due to its sensitivity. The package of boxes appeared crumpled up with the moisture-proof polythene seal detached from the wooden base, leaving haphazard spaces between the boxes. However, constituency returning officers suspected the damage could have occurred during the handling of the consignment.
So when the pellets came, it had a damage on one side, and so we just wanted to confirm whether everything is okay. And in that pellet, the expectation of the packaging inside was that as indicated on the packaging on top of it is 50 boxes of the ballot papers inside it.
This follows a report on Sunday, August 7, that saw 4 IEBC officials arrested after they were found holding a closed-door meeting at a parliamentary aspirant's home in Homa Bay County. The officials included a presiding officer, 2 deputy presiding officers, and a clerk. However, IEBC has sacked the said officials and the replacements are yet to be announced. Anodida, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Amarida, for that report. Now, across the at least 46,000 polling stations stationed in the country, election materials have touched down. It is therefore all systems go as the electoral body, the IEBC, sets itself to manage the constitutional process. The arena is seemingly ready for the games in the name of the 2022 general polls to tee off all over the country. In Narok East, which has 46,545 registered voters, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission returning officers have confirmed that all systems are ready for the August 9th elections. Returning officer Joe Omai said they have received all materials needed for the crucial exercise and are in the process of distributing them to the presiding officers, who will move with them to their polling stations.
We have made arrangements with transporters. We have a tractor ready and even some four-wheel drive vehicles.
In Nyandarua County, a visit to Ndaragwa constituency revealed top-gear preparations, with poll officials being deployed to various centers. Constituency returning officer Anthony Wainaina has confirmed that all ballot papers have been received and assigned accordingly.
I must first say that we are very prepared for these elections, because for the last 5 years, since 2017, we have been preparing for this election, and therefore we cannot say anything about not being prepared. We have the materials that we require. As you can see, we have the human resource, we have the materials, we have the transport, we have food, we have train, and I can say we are very prepared for tomorrow.
In Siaya County, the security team has directed bars and other social joints to be closed early a day to the polls to enable locals relax and wake up sober and ready to cast their votes.
The bars will close today, at the time between 7 and 9 p.m. on the very latest, and they will close tomorrow after the polling stations have closed at 6 p.m. We are doing this to make sure that our people remain sober, so that they can be able to make sober decisions of voting correct leaders.
In Nyali constituency, returning officer John Oletaiswa said distribution of election materials to 195 polling stations was on its final bend, and that presiding and deputy presiding officers, clerks and security personnel will be stationed overnight in their respective stations ahead of the August 9th elections.
All preparation ambayo tumepanga zote, kila kitu iko tayari. Sasa tutu ni kumalizia yale kidogo kidogo ambaye hatujamalizia.
Kura, na ukimaliza kupiga kura warudi nyumbani, wangojee matokeo. watasikia wakitangaza, wataangalia kwa runinga, basi ni ule mwenye umechakuliwa watakuwa umemwona pale.
Kenya is all set to execute its 14th general elections with at least 22 million registered voters set to take part in the exercise.
And as that pans out, calls for peace continue even as the country has to cast votes tomorrow. In line with the organization, and leaders have continued to encourage Kenyans to maintain peace while the country is in the process of transitioning to changing leaders at different levels in government.
At the same time, Mijikenda Kaya elders gathered at Uhuru Gardens in Mombasa County to pray for peaceful elections and smooth transition in tomorrow's polls. The traditional elders drawn from Kaya Giriama, Kaya Rabai, Kaya Digo, Kaya Duruma and Kaya Chonyo urged locals to turn out in large numbers to vote and maintain peace.
Siku ya Jumanne tarehe 9 kuna uchaguzi. Na uchaguzi huo tunaomba uchaguzi wa amani. Kwa sababu ikiwa hatutachaguana na amani, tutakuwa tumeikoroga nchi yetu ama tumeichoma.
Kampeni tunaomba amani iwe vizuri, lakini isipokuwa vizuri, kuna watoto wetu ambao wako darasa la 8 wanaenda kwa mtihani. Na tena tuko na kidato cha 4 wanaenda kufanya mtihani. Sasa hii kampeni ikiwa ya amani, shule wataenda mapema, lakini isipokuwa ya amani, itabidi watoto wetu wabaki nyumbani na ndio wanazidi kupotea.
On the other hand, Nyatike Deputy County Commissioner Paul Lagat flagged off a peaceful caravan today that sent a message of peace and political tolerance to the residents of Migori County in the Nyatike, Suna East and Suna West constituencies. Lagat lauded the move organized by local NGO Blue Cross Nyatike and Catholic Relief as it comes at the right time following recent incidents of political intolerance experienced in the region.
Our request and our prayer today is that we continue to maintain peace the way we maintained in the past, and before, after election, during election, and even when the results shall be announced. That is our prayer. Otherwise, we thank you all Nyatike people, we thank the entire Migori County team, we thank the entire security team, and even the stakeholders for ensuring that peace is maintained.
In line with this, the government has suspended curfew that was put in areas prone to insecurities in counties of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet and West Pokot for 3 days to allow residents exercise their democratic right of voting in tomorrow's polls. Bentura Kombuka, KUTV.
Thank you, Komboka, for that report. And as they head to the polls, Kenyans are applauding presidential candidates for their peaceful campaigns while preaching unity, which citizens appreciate as they call for an end to tribalism.
Tomorrow it is a great day to the nation of Kenya, and we expect the best candidate to win for the presidency. And also in our issue is that each and every place now there is calmness, and I hope each and every person will come out tomorrow to vote to his best candidates. And we want to pray that there is no any chaos that will overcome from tomorrow onwards.
Here in Eldoret, I've seen that the residents here have attained maturity in politics. It used to happen that in previous elections, some candidates used to incite people to fight against each other to attain political mileage. But this time, people here have become politically mature. It used to happen that there was kind of demarcation in the kind where people tend to see who is who because of tribalism. Because some previous leaders used to use tribal lines to attain political mileage, but currently that one has gone.
All right, and with those sentiments from the electorate, we will be making the power-changing cues tomorrow. We take off a short break right here on KUTV Primetime News. We'll be back in a moment.
TV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KU TV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020 359 9054.
Sasa ni bora zaidi, mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Sokomoko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Yangu. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Siku hiyo yenye furaha ajabu, machungu yote yatakwisha, mambo yote yatakuwa ni mapya. Tukutane paradiso, tukutane enzini mbinguni, baada ya dhiki za hapa ulimwenguni tukutane.
Safina inang'oa nanga sasa hivi. Hivi sasa ni saa 2 Ijumaa usiku badala ya saa 3 kamili juu ya alama, due to public demand. Ungana nami Albanas Mwania, nahodha wa Safina Show, nikutoe ng'ambo ya pili hadi ufuoni. Safina Show, sauti ya matumaini.
Tamani kufika pale, mji mzuri ajabu wapendeza, hakuna mfano wa mazuri yajayo, jitahidi ufike mbinguni juu. Siku yaja tutasahau yale yote yanayotuhuzunisha, tumeahidiwa na Mungu.
Welcome back to KU TV Prime Time News, where the theme is actually the election, and we'll be giving you live broadcasts concerning everything that will be happening in matters of the election tomorrow and the days going on until the final date when we are able to actually clarify who takes it and who loses. Now, Nairobi County Regional Commissioner Kang'ethe Thuku has announced that 10,000 police officers have been deployed to ensure security in 3,643 polling centers alongside the National Tallying Center in the capital Nairobi. The officers are drawn from the GSU, Administration Police, as well as the Prison Department. While addressing media at the Nyayo office, Thuku said that every polling station would have 2 officers, while polling centers, streets, and identified hotspots Rural areas will have adequate officers. Those planning to conduct demonstrations have been warned they will face stern actions, and gatherings around the polling stations and the areas that are around there are banned. Thuku said that individual businesses will remain open and assure their owners that their commodities will be safe. He also hailed residents for maintaining peace during the campaigns.
Kwa niaba ya kamati ya usalama ya region, ningetaka kushukuru wakazi wa Nairobi kwa vile walifanya wakati wa campaigns, walionyesha ukomavu na nidhamu ya hali ya juu wakati wa shughuli za campaign. Hatukupoteza mtu yoyote ama watu hawakuumizwa, na kwa hivyo mimi nasema ni heko kwao. Lakini pia niwaulize kwamba kesho ni siku muhimu, ni siku kuu katika demokrasia nchi hii, na ningetaka kuuliza watu waamke mapema, waende wapige kura zao, kisha waende katika manyumba zao. And we are ready. When the result announced, we are not going to allow any type of demonstrations. Tomorrow is the D-Day. It is a day that we are going to cast our votes. And I want to appeal to the Nairobians to wake up very early, to go to the polling stations and cast their votes, and later go home and wait.
IBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati has suspended elections in 4 elective seats across the country following a mix-up in the printing of ballot papers. The elective areas include Mombasa and Kakamega counties, where governor's elections have been suspended until further notice. Chebukati said this followed the realization that details and images of the candidates were wrong. Others affected for the same reasons are Pokot South and Kachiliba constituency elections. Now, Agano Party presidential candidate David Wahiga Mwaure today met with the election observers led by former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete ahead of tomorrow's general election. The Agano Party leader raised a number of issues to the election observers, among them including an equal level of the playing field and buying of identification cards in a bid to weaken their competitors.
It is hours, if not a matter of time, before Kenyans stream to polling station to exercise their democratic right, choosing a set of new leaders from members of county assembly to members of parliament, senators to governor and president. In a highly contested election like this, stakes are high and no candidate is leaving nothing to chance. Agano Party presidential candidate David Wahiga Mwaure has aired out his frustration to election observers led by former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete.
We've said to him, when they do their report and they have occasion to speak to His Excellency the President, and to speak to the international community.
The Agano Party boss lamented unfair level ground during campaign season and using of public resources to fund the leading 2 presidential contenders.
To indicate that state resources were used by some of our competitors. The Deputy President is still in government. The Right Honorable Prime Minister is supported by His Excellency, and that is not good for democracy.
He further condemned the ongoing news cycle dominated by accusation of politicians buying national identification cards in bid to reduce their opponent support base. David Wahiga Mwaure hopes that the key and pertinent issues raised will be put into consideration as clock ticks every single second. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
All right, and with that report of presidential candidate from the Agano Party meeting the observers who will be observing the elections tomorrow, we take another break right here on KUTV Primetime News. We'll be back. in a moment.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause. Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits, the road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane, keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
All right. Welcome back to KUTV Primetime News. We appreciate your valued company, and also we are streaming live on our social media handles at KUTV Kenya on YouTube, at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, and you can also get interactive with us on Twitter at KUTV_Kenya. Now, the Supreme Court has termed the CDF Act of 2013 illegal and unconstitutional, citing it goes against the Division of Revenue and Public Finance Law. This decision brings to an end a 9-year court battle between the members of parliament and the civil society groups. The case was heard and determined by Chief Justice Martha Koome, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, Justice Njoki Ndungu, William Ouka, and Justice Smoking Wanjala. The matter pitted two civil society groups, Institute for Social Accountability and the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance, against the lawmakers. The High Court had declared the act unconstitutional in 2015, but Parliament moved to the Court of Appeal and successfully had the decision reversed. The Appellate Court only declared some sections of the act to be unconstitutional. Now, some time back, an audio recording of the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto seemingly lifted the lead on his relationship with President Uhuru Kenyatta, where practically it soared. The DP has countless times blamed the 9th 2018 truce between Uhuru and ODM leader Raila Odinga as the genesis of the breakup with his political soulmate. We take a look at some key moments in the sweet turned bitter relationship of Uhuru.
Having a thick skin is a prerequisite for immersing yourself in the world of politics and politricks. This is characterized by occasional backstabbing, routine betrayal, double-crossing and underhanded maneuvers to at least give you a shot at the Kenyan presidency. These scenes have played out in the Jubilee presidency soap opera starring President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Samoei Ruto, who since their fallout marked by the famous March 9, 2018 handshake at the steps of Harambee House, where President Uhuru Kenyatta brokered a peace deal with the then opposition leader Raila Odinga, a public spat between the former Hague brothers has been witnessed over mainstream and social media for the past 4 years. Recently, a new revelation of the details about the genesis of the fallout was introduced to Kenyans in form of a voice recording of Deputy President William Ruto putting President Uhuru Kenyatta's initial reaction on the spotlight after the nullification of the 2017 presidential election by the then Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga September 1st bombshell heard all over the world at the Supreme Court of Kenya.
Mimi nataka niwaambie, najua tulienda kufanya uchaguzi tukashinda. Huyu mtu akaenda pale akakoroga ikasemekana turudie uchaguzi. Ndio watu wengi, ni kwa sababu gani? Watu wengi walikuwa nafikiri sasa ikisemekana turudie uchaguzi ati tutawachana na Uhuru. Sijui kwa sababu gani watu walikuwa naamini hivyo, lakini mimi nilitoka hapa kwa ofisi na nilikuwa nimemwambia Uhuru, chunga hapo iko Kiingereza. Akaniambia hapana, nimechunga kabisa, kila kitu iko sawa. Kulikuwa na mtu mwingine anaitwa Nje, sijui nani. Mwisho mlango kumbe ilikuwa wazi, wengine wakaingia ndani wakaribu. Si ndio? Mimi nikatoka hapa nikafika State House. Kufika State House nikakuta rafiki yangu ako hapo. Sitaki kusema alikuwa anafanya nini, kwa sababu sisi ni wazee. Hii maneno sijui nini, mimi sitaki, mimi nataka kwenda Ichaberi, wewe sijui sasa mimi sitaki, wacha tuachane na hii kitu. Mimi nikamwangalia, nikamwambia wewe, ni vile tu nilikuwa na heshima, ningemchapa kofi.
And if DP Ruto's recollection of the events are anything to go by, it is after his State House impromptu visit that the president called a State House meeting to address the matter. Then the duo proceeded to Nairobi's Bama Market, where President Uhuru Kenyatta made what could arguably be the most controversial remark in his presidency. Remarks which set the ball rolling in the bitter relationship between the executive and the judiciary arms of the government.
Si Maraga na watu yake hao wakora hao wamesema ati basi hiyo uchaguzi ipotee. Si ndivyo wamesema? Sasa mimi sana sio rais mtarajiwa. Mimi ni rais ambao amekalia kiti. We are not bothered with courts anymore. Court wamemaliza kazi yao. Wamesema turudie. Hao si namna hiyo. Na wamesema IEBC within 60 days. Bas. Tuagojea debe.
It is safe to say that President Kenyatta is not a stranger when it comes to taking a loss, still reeling from the 2002 general election loss to former president, the late Mzee Mwai Kibaki, despite enjoying the full backing of the outgoing and Kenya's longest-serving president, the late Mzee Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. Uhuru will then take a second stab at the presidency in 2013, but will be faced with challenges of crimes against humanity charges at the Netherlands-based ICC court relating to the 2007 post-election violence. This being his greatest hurdle in the race for the state's top job, Uhuru Kenyatta, then Deputy Prime Minister, later joined forces with his co-accused William Ruto in the race to State House. In the midst of this, Uhuru approached the then Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi for a coalition pact, the evidence of this being late-night meetings in what insiders say was Kenyatta's initial decision to quit the presidential race in favor of Madividi. A few days later, after what seemed to be Mount Kenya power brokers' efforts, Kenyatta denounced the Mudavadi side pact, blaming dark forces or what he loosely termed as madimony for misguiding him.
Na ni wengi ambao wako na uwezo wa kuongoza Kenya. Tunaelewana? Hata mimi majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Lakini na ndipo mimi nasema sijali ni nani. Faida ni Wakenya, tutawapeleka wapi?
After the ascension to power, Uhuru Ruto was the embodiment of a perfect bromance with the two as fast donning marching ensembles during media appearances in their first term in office, the second term being a whole new story altogether. A clear crack forming in the relationship, with politicians slowly realigning themselves on either sides of the divide, this giving birth to the Tanga Tanga and Kieleweke factions. The Tanga Tanga side, pro-William Ruto, a name that arose after the president asked Kenyans to tell Ruto their problems as he tanga-tangad in the villages supervising government projects, and Kieleweke side, pro-Uhuru Kenyatta, which enjoyed backing from ODM-affiliated politicians after the handshake between President Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga, a rift that further widened after most of DP Ruto's affiliates and allies were kicked out of government for many reasons, others being linked to corruption scandals. Since then, it has been a war of words and public show of utter disrespect between the once brothers of Yangu Kumi na Yako Kumi.
Nataka nimwambie my friend, Bwana Uhuru Kenyatta, wewe umenitatiza sana bwana. Umeniangaisha. Umetuangaisha sisi ambao tulikuunga mkono. Wabunge wengi. Umetutesa. Umetumia vitengo ya kitengo ya DCI na wengine kutunyanyasa.
Hii mambo ya makelele kila saa, kichwa yako ni makelele huko. Watu waache upuzi. Huyu Munya miaka 3 amekuja amebadilisha mambo huko katika agriculture, amebadilisha. Hawa walikuwa huko miaka 8, walifanya nini?
Hatuna shida na rafiki yetu Uhuru Kenyatta. Si kweli? Sisi tulimpigia kura na hakuna mtu atamfuata, hakuna mtu atamfanya chochote. Tunamheshimu kama kiongozi ambaye anaenda kufanya retire. Si kweli?
Huyu mwingine anampigia huyu, mwingine anapigia huyu. Uamuzi utakuwa wa wananchi. Kuna haja ya matusi. Kuna haja ya kuingilia watu. Sasa wakati naenda kupatiana serikali na sina uwezo, ndio niko na time ya kukutafuta. Piga story yako, uza sera zako, wachana na mimi nafanya kazi yangu nimalize.
With the elections just around the corner, President Kenyatta has openly shown his support for his elder brother Raila Odinga as his preferred successor, terming him as a champion for social rights, a fighter of corruption. The president openly terming his deputy as corrupt and should not be allowed to come close to power.
Saa hizi nyinyi watu wa kuzimia mnajifanya ati nyinyi ni marafiki wa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Nyinyi mlikuwa wapi siku ile tulikuwa tunapigia Uhuru Kenyatta kura? Hawa watu wa kuzimia walikuweko? Wanajua tulipigia Uhuru Kenyatta namna gani mpaka akakuwa rais? Nyinyi watu wa kuzimia, wacheni utapeli na wacheni unafiki. Wacheni kujifanya ati mnapenda Rais Kenyatta. Sisi ndio tulimchagua Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Na mimi hapa hasla, mimi ndio nilifanya kampeni kubwa ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Ni kweli ama si kweli?
The Huruto dirty draws have been washed publicly for 4 years, with this going down in history as the most drama-filled regime since independence. Samson Jura, KUTV.
Thank you, Samson Jura, for that narrative, taking us through history and memory lane. Actually just bringing out the picture of how flexible the political arena can be, even as you move towards a position where we are actually going to select new leaders. It's good to know that it's a flexible environment. Don't take it so much to heart. Now, Out of the 4 candidates running in Kenya's presidential election the coming tomorrow, 3 have running mates who are women, including the frontrunner Raila Amolo Odinga. The election could herald a breakthrough in Kenya's national politics, but female politicians say getting to this historic point has not been an easy journey.
It is unprecedented in Kenya. 3 of the 4 candidates running in the August 9 presidential election have female running mates. Pollsters say former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and his running mate, former Justice Minister Martha Karua, lead the pack just days before the vote.
When you have a woman with the public prominence of Martha Karua, who was an MP for 15 or 20 years, she served in Mwai Kibaki's cabinet, and she quit on principle. Then she's been leading her own political party, NARC Kenya. I think that's made it easier for the other 2 presidential candidates to see that it's quite fine and maybe even politically advantageous to have a woman as a running mate.
Justina Wamai is running with presidential contender Professor George Wajakoya. She grew up watching prominent women politicians like Martha Karua, who is now her competitor.
Martha Karua and the other ladies, Mama Ngilu, they cracked the glass ceiling. Now we've blown it up open. 3 of us is a big thing.
Her Roots Party has come up with an unprecedented manifesto in Kenya promising to execute those found guilty of corruption, implement a 4-day work week, and legalize marijuana.
Professor George Wajakoya and myself have a vision. We are telling you that we want to legalize industrial hemp for economic upswing. Our aim is that we will not increase taxes, we will pay off the debt, and we'll shun donor funding because this country must be respected.
Meanwhile, Ruth Mutua is running with Agano Party presidential candidate David Wahiga. Some Kenyans say the role of women is being politicized, while others say women are finally being recognized for their work in a male-dominated field.
We grew up being told that the men are supposed to dominate the society, they're supposed to lead us, but now that everyone is recognizing what we can do and they're opening up to give us space to express ourselves and also to assist in leadership, it's great.
My take, it is a gender card issue that is being played and is being politicized in Kenya.
2 women have lost previous bids for the top seat in Kenya. Political observers say this election may mark the first time that a woman takes the 2nd highest political seat as Kenya's deputy president. Juma Majanga for VON News, Nairobi.
Now, whether it will be a female aspirant to take seat tomorrow or not, it's all up to the electorate. And we'll know tomorrow, or we'll know in the coming days to come. We take a short break right here on QTV Prime Time News, and we'll be back in a moment.
University. This is all what I've heard about campus. Campus is full of freedom.
Ni cumulative.
Mchezo hiyo ilipoka gani kwani?
Student and I mostly hang out at shopping center. I'm an arboretum, and what I'd tell first years is it's never too late to start being serious.
What is this magic? I need that magic.
Somebody call 911.
so good body. Den, yo.
Ukiwa na dukuduku la michezo, tunafungua sanduku la dukuduku kwa ufahamu zaidi. Kila danadana, mitimpo, mifiatuko na harakati zote ugani, sisi ni wako mwandani. Kukurukakara zote nyanjani, haziwezi kuangaziwa zaidi ya micharazo michezoni. Mimi mwanaspoti wako matata Peter Pinches Mwaora ndakuwa na jopo lenye maarifa sufufu, nikufahamishe na nikuburudishe wewe shabiki shakiki kwa uhakiki na kindakindaki.
The percentage in which government is giving opportunities to this specific type of groups under the AGPO, like what percentage has the government given?
No, but like I said, you see, when a budget is done for every year, every ministry will be able to place their budget for it. But whatever is given to them, 30% of the budget for that ministry is dedicated to AGPO. 30%. So if let's assume, for instance, that a ministry is given 2 billion, for instance. Now, 30% of 2 billion would be about 600,000? 600 million. That will be dedicated to AGPO. And therefore, when you go to a ministry, as a young person, as a person living with disability, 600 million is actually meant for you.
This is The Agenda with Benturo Kumbuka and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
Weni mwenyeji, kama we si mwenyeji, mind your business. Unataka ule anaichapa mpaka ilale basi anakisha.
Chukua moja kwa cyber, kama una form chukua moja kwa cyber. Chukua moja kwa cyber, kama una form chukua moja kwa cyber. Chukua moja kwa cyber, kama una form chukua moja kwa cyber. Chukua moja kwa cyber.
Donjo, sherehe na donjo. Donjo, wawani vile sherehe na donjo.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business laws, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
Hope has come with model stories from small successful entrepreneurs. We tell you these tales weekly on The Budding Entrepreneur. Join us as we help you make your trade profitable and often smile to the bank.
Alright, welcome back, and that is a clear declaration that we are into the world of sports. Now, former world champion Julius Yego won a bronze medal for Kenya in the men's javelin final after throwing one of his best attempts in 3 years at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, the United Kingdom. Yego threw a season best of 85.70 meters, his highest since 2019. The last time Yego threw past 85 meters mark was during the All-African Games in Morocco, when he won gold with a throw of 87.73 meters. Fondly referred to as Mr. YouTube, Yego went into silver in the medal position when with his first throw attempt before missing the next due to red flags in Pakistan, and he bagged a gold in games record and lifetime's best of 90.18 meters.
I'm so excited that
I've met a good comeback. It was a very strong competition. You could see the level of competition today was so high, and me getting a bronze is, I really thank God, because I've been struggling all like 4 years now, and I'm very sure many people even have wrote me, off that maybe I'm not coming back, but I'm so happy, I'm so excited. I thank God that I won a bronze medal for my country.
Congratulations. And elsewhere, Kenya's Wycliffe Kinyamal has successfully defended his Commonwealth 800 meters title. Kinyamal led at the bell on 55.56 seconds before holding up the field to win 1 minute and 47.52 seconds in the final held at the Alexander Stadium. If you got that snippet of that clip that just aired right there, you know that sometimes you lose. And that's the way we go even with the elections that are coming. And maybe in a one-liner, because I'm standing in for Mondi Otieno and he usually ends this with a quote. I'll also say, don't compare chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. My name is Emmanuel Potosi, and in the sign language interpretation, I'm joined by Velma Akini. Have a peaceful night.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins.